What's going on, everybody in the VC? Craig back to do a hard rock and metal update. Yes, finally, I can actually have enough to show just hard rock and metal. God, that shit is so hard to fucking find on vinyl these days. But I've got a really cool score here to show you guys, so let's get right into it. VC cheer. Hope everybody's doing great. Doing pretty good here. Playing catch up. Finally getting back into doing videos, so I'm feeling really good about that. What's on in the background? Some Savatage. Early Savatage. Their second album, The Dungeons Are Calling. So fucking good. God, this band does not get talked about enough in the band. I need to start really getting stuff on vinyl, but especially the first couple albums, Sirens and Dungeons Are Calling, are expensive as shit to find on vinyl. A few others are, reasonably priced. One's kind of in the middle, but then it just gets pricey again. Either way, highly, highly underrated band. So fucking good. So, I'm not going to babble too long. I actually want to show all these records because I got a bunch to show. Quick backstory on where they all came from. About a month ago, had a good buddy of mine who I've known for well over a decade now, and he sends me a text early one morning saying, "Hey, I got a coworker who's looking to sell off his record collection." Immediately I'm like, okay, I'm interested, keep talking. So ask what kind of music he's into, tells me kind of, there's classic rock, some, 80s metal. I'm like, okay, well, 80s metal is a very vague term for a lot of people, because that can involve everything from Megadeth to fucking Winger, So you have no idea what you're gonna walk into. And not discrediting a lot of people that, in my general area, but most times when I've seen somebody's record collection or, whatever they have, it's a lot of common stuff. Most things I already have, or things that I just don't listen to or want. It's whatever. But I figured I'd give this guy a shot, not knowing how much he really wanted, but he wasn't looking for a ton, just looking to, get rid of his collection, basically. And if I had brought more money, I probably would have just bought everything. But regardless, I didn't, but I still got some killer shit. Ended up getting in touch with him later that night, set up to meet up with him after I got off of work the next day. Went over to his house, and he had, this is the cool part, he had everything kind of separated. So when I walked in, he immediately had it all laid out, so all the general classic rock, 80s rock, stuff like that was all kind of separated into piles. So it's pretty well organized. And then he had two separate stacks. One was a lot of the sort of rare kind of metal stuff. He had another stack with a bunch of sealed vinyl and some kind of really other cool kind of collectible pieces. Some things I thought were really cool, but I didn't want to lowball them, and so I didn't grab them. And then some other stuff that really didn't pique my interest, but there were a couple of things that I was thinking about buying, and I did buy one thing that was sealed, but I'll save that for a different video. Try to keep everything strictly hard rock and metal. There were a few things that I picked up that weren't hard rock and metal. So, here's all the sick finds. I found some killer shit that I was pretty blown away by. I got home, told my wife, showed her what I got, and told her how much I spent. But then I went and I looked up a few on Discogs just for the hell of it to see what they kind of sold for in the past, and they went for insane money. There's one in here that I'd seen that its going price on Discogs as of a month ago was how much I paid for the entire lot. And I think I bought almost 20, give or take maybe one or two. So enough of my babbling, let's get into these. So, first one up here, compilation that I've been wanting on vinyl for ever. Well over a decade now, ever since I first heard it. And that would be Hearing Aid. Now I have the 12-inch single for the main track on here, Stars, We're Stars. But I've never actually seen this album a while before, and this is the actual album that has the additional tracks from Accept, Dio, Hendrix, Kiss, Motorhead, Rush, Scorpions, and Y&T. But for anybody who's not familiar with this song, it's an all-star cast of people from the hard rock and metal genre circa 1985 era, and basically in the vein of, you know, We Are the World, Do They Think It's Christmas? You've got We're Stars. So very, very cool. It's got a bit of a novelty factor, but it's still actually one of my favorite songs of that era. And this is really cool to find. And mind you, almost all the vinyl on these are Fiji Plus near mint. Some of the covers are varying, like the next one I'm going to show. Dancing on the Edge by Lita Ford. Very cool. Love Lita. And this one just, I've got it in the sleeve because it's just beat to shit. Cover is. Vinyl's in nice shape, so couldn't pass on that. Next one up here. This is a really cool find. I never actually see it when I'm out dating, so nice addition to the Uriah Heep collection. Abominade. Hard to say that, but actually, before I'd ever even heard of Uriah Heep, I remember reading an article in Metal Edge magazine. Remember Metal Edge? This is probably in the mid to late 90s, and they had a list of, like, you know, kind of obscure early 80s, or 80s in general, hard rock metal albums, and this was in there. So I always kept my eye open for finding this one. So very cool to get that. Next one up here is a Blind Buy, which actually, it's a fucking shame. I haven't had a chance to listen to all these. But I kind of was looking at it. It was in the general stack of classic rock and shit like that. And I kind of looked at it, checked out the condition. I'm like, oh, well, it seems worth it. And the guy I was buying the records from recommended it, so I figured I'd go and grab it. Fighting for the Earth by Warrior. So, I mean, the cover alone kind of sold me. I'm like, alright, those guys look cool. I can go for this. So, well worth it. Next one up, oh my god, I about lost my shit when I saw this. Oh, this was a total... If I would have just found this and nothing else, I probably would have been fucking happy as all hell. But, Midnight Rendezvous by Tokyo Blade. Fuck yeah. Oh, this is so fucking cool. This is so good. And that green, the army green combat label. Oh, yeah. Oh, so fucking cool to find this. So good. I was happier than pig and shit. I'm still actually happy every time I look at it. Alright, what do we got next? Alright. One from the Saxon collection. Rock the Nations, 1986. So, not your typical classic Saxon, you know, new wave of British heavy metal Saxon, but I'm a completist. Didn't have this one. Never actually see any of the, I never see any of the Saxon albums post-Crusader. Mainly I always run into Power and Glory and Crusader. I got lucky with the few other ones that I have, so I think this brings me up to... I think it's like 8 Saxon albums now, somewhere thereabouts. So, very cool. Oh, now this one. This is a cool find. Not my favorite song in the world, but when am I ever going to find this and be able to pay a price that I want to pay for it? I'm the Man, Anthrax. Very cool EP. You got live versions of I'm the Man, Hot Homage, I Am the Law. You got the cover of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And you got both versions of I'm the Man, the censored and uncensored versions. So, nice addition to the Anthrax collection. Next one up here. Another one I see every now and again. It just ends up going for outrageous prices now because of the fucking vinyl resurgence. Tribute by Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads. So we all know this. Double live album. Just all your classic Ozzy, Randy Rhoads era tracks. And a little funny story about this. I picked this out and was looking at it and immediately threw it in my stack and said, I can tell you right now, I bought it and I only spun it once and I only played the song Flying High again. He's like, that's all the only reason I bought it. He's like, I played it once and it's like, then I shelved it. Because it was released in '87, so he said by that point he was into CDs, was buying CDs, and this was the last piece of vinyl that he remembered buying right after, you know, CDs became prominent. So he wasn't buying much vinyl after that. So that was kind of a cool little story. Next one up here, one for the Michael Schenker Group Collection, Built to Destroy. Very cool. Oh, this was actually really cool in the cover. Really freaked my wife out at first. Alive and Screaming by Crocus. So, live album. Definitely one of my favorite bands of the. I like their early '80s, late '70s output. More like everything from like Headhunter, One Vice at a Time. Great albums. Also, it's Hardware. So that was really cool. Nice addition. Now, here's what we're talking about. You know, you saw Tokyo Blade, and that being, you know, a little bit obscure, not exactly easy to find, especially here in the Midwest, where metal is just, it's almost non-existent. And some, I mean, you'll get lucky at like a record show or something like that, but most of the time, most of the record stores, if they get any metal in, it's fucking priced out the ass. So, very little are you gonna find good metal. And this one, oh my god, I was fucking, I couldn't stop staring at it. Into Glory Ride by Manowar. This right here, this is fucking awesome. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Early Manowar? Like, I've never even seen any Manowar in vinyl before. You know, so this was just fucking insane. Got that on the Megaforce label. Very, very cool. Some of these are starting to clean up a little bit. That'll be a cool listen. I'm very, very excited. Alright, next one up here. Another one of those I saw priced out the ass at a record store a couple years ago, actually, because I debated on buying it until I saw the price. See You in Hell by Grim Reaper. Oh yeah. And you know what? As cheesy as hell as the song See You in Hell is sometimes when I've listened to it, I can't resist. I had to get this one. So, fucking awesome. And you know what? I'm fucking blown away. It's a killer listen. Now I'm going to be hunting even harder for some Grim Reaper. Alright, next up. Another one for the Armored Saint collection, Raising Fear. Fucking love Armored Saint. Just totally fucking overlooked sometimes. Such a great band. I love these guys. And in my next Hard Rock and Metal update, I'll have to bust out the other Armored Saint albums I've been able to purchase over the last couple of months. Got very lucky and been able to start really building Armored Saint on vinyl. Alright, last two. Couple of comps I picked up. The first one, pretty general, but I mean, once you start grabbing up a bunch of vinyl, you're going to start just throwing more on the stack. And you're like, yeah, why the hell not? I might as well grab it. Metal Mania. So this is from 1985 on the Columbia label. So basically you've got all Columbia related artists. Fastway, Mountain, Heaven, Frank Marino, Michael Bolton, which, you know what? Sling all the shit you want, that early Michael Bolton stuff, it rocks hard. It's really good. You just don't play when anybody else is around. Joe Perry Project, Loverboy, weird. Tommy Bolin, Loyster Cult, Judas Priest, Aerosmith. So it's an interesting comp, but you know, I like having some of those to just kind of. I don't really want to listen to an entire album by one artist. Sometimes I just want to throw a comp on. So it's a nice one. And this one, the creme de la creme, the one that just floored me out of everything I picked up that day. And definitely not an easy one to find. I kind of wrote it off and just grabbed it. And was like, oh, that'll be really cool to listen to, and I just had to have it. But when I did my research on it and kind of started seeing how obscure this really is, I'm holding it even tighter now, and it's definitely going into Grail status because it's that cool. New Wave of British Heavy Metal, 1979, revisited. So, what have we got here? Well, you got a double LP, so 2-record set, and what do you have on here? Classic New Wave of British Heavy Metal. You got stuff from Diamond Head, Sweet Savage, Saxon, White Spirit, Raven. Now, I'm not going to list everybody off. Girl School, early Def Leppard, Samson, Iron Maiden, Tigers Pantang, Venom, Angel Witch, love Angel Witch, and Blitzkrieg. Basically, that sums it up. And what is this comp exactly? Basically assembled by Lars Ulrich of Metallica, along with Jeff Barton, who was a writer for the magazine Sounds back in the 70s. And at the time, he was managing editor of Kerrang! Magazine. And so this was released in, let's see here, I believe it's 1990. I just want to make sure, yep, on a Metal Blade. So I'll show you what we're talking about here. There's custom labels here. And these are just beautiful, beautiful shape. And you just got 2 LPs filled with classic New Wave of British Heavy Metal. Not only is it hard as hell to find any New Wave of British Heavy Metal in general on vinyl, but to get all the stuff from these artists who are just... It's just insane collecting all this great music on this vinyl. It's just insane. I was actually spinning it earlier again because I just couldn't believe it. But I'll pull out these inner sleeves are really cool too. So a little bit of information on where on each song, so who's playing on it, you know, what it was originally released on, and then you got these news articles and stuff like that. So these are just so fucking cool. I was, you know, you've got a lot of eye candy stuff to, you know, keep you occupied while you're listening to it, and this is just one of those cool reasons why collecting vinyl is so much fun. I mean, you're not only getting some incredible music on here, but you also got some stories here in the back, you know, from Lars and then from Jeff Barton, stuff to kind of read while you're listening to this. It's just insane. So not only a killer addition to my hard rock and metal section of my collection, but just a piece of New Wave of British Heavy Metal history, you know? Just insane. So on that note, that'll do it for the hard rock and metal update. I'll have another one of these because I got a bunch of stuff coming in the mail, a bunch of stuff still on the shelves that need to be shown. Got some other genre related updates to do, some other stuff I'm thinking about putting in the works. We'll see. So on that note, thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys, welcome aboard. Hope you're enjoying everything so far. All my old subscribers that are sticking around through all these years of craziness and my hiatuses, thank you for sticking it out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, take care. Peace.